Hello, I'm Dr. K, the Management Professor, and this episode is about the lean startup pitch, early failures to monitor, identifying signs that you have a fear of failure, tips to converting failure to success, and the business life cycle. First, please subscribe to my channel by hitting the subscribe button down below, and also hit the notifications button so you'll see each time I post a new video. One of the keys to running a successful business is the ability to minimize the time between the customer placing the order and the time you get paid. Like running sprints in agile methodology, Andrew Houston and Arash Ferdowsi, the co-founders of Dropbox, coined the notion lean startup. This system is a methodology that entrepreneurs use to help them innovate by continuously testing their products and getting feedback from customers in real time. They built it from the Toyota way. I have other videos on this channel that dive into what lean is, as well as the specifics on agile methodology. Let's review the 7 steps to the lean startup pitch. First, tell an exciting story that quickly moves into tangible results. Here, you don't want to do a sales pitch. Just be yourself, be open and authentic. The point of this exciting story is to captivate your audience and introduce it as a business that is already up and running, so investors know from the jump that you are using lean startup techniques. The second step is to define the problem and the solution, as well as describe what makes you unique to the marketplace. Specifically, you want to define the problem you're solving, demonstrate how you already calculated the answer, and began solving the problem. The third step in the lean startup pitch is to describe how the target market will benefit from the product or service. You need to demonstrate that you understand your customer, and you know this because you already received feedback. You want to give examples of early product development, then share key customer feedback and how you improve the product as a result. In this step, focus on the product and its benefits rather than any features. Step 4 is to state your position with actual facts and results that you already achieved. In this step, you want to talk about any tests, experiments, feedback, or anything you did that will provide evidence to your claims. You can discuss any hypothesis you made and how the data you collected supported your claims or made you pivot, demonstrating how you believe in your product and aren't willing to quit. Step 5. This step is easy. Step 5 is to keep it simple. Don't use industry jargon here. Keep the conversation relatable, as if anyone could understand the product. Reveal progress. Show where you started and where you are now. Demonstrate that you are moving forward and constantly improving. Step 7 is the last step in the lean startup pitch. At this point, you present your ask. Close your pitch by identifying what you seek. If you want an investment, a partnership, a new partner, and/or an investor, ask for it. You may have some failed attempts along the way, but don't stop. Keep going because you never know when you're going to take your business to the next level. Rice University did a review of 101 failed startups and dissected their contributing factors. They broke them into 4 categories: marketing, management, financial, and innovation. Let's look at each of the factors that make up these 4 categories. There are 4 factors that contribute to failed marketing attempts, according to research at Rice University. The first failure they noted was overwhelming. 42% of the marketing failure was due to no market need. This means people came up with business ideas, launched them, and clearly didn't do their due diligence. They tried to sell a good or service that nobody needed or wanted. If it doesn't bring value, nobody will buy it. The second failure in the marketing category came in at 19%, and it was that the startup was outcompeted. The next 2 factors contributing to marketing failures both came in at 14%. 14% demonstrated poor marketing techniques, and 14% ignored their customers. Like marketing, there are 4 factors that contribute to failed management attempts, according to research from Rice University. The first failure was that they had the wrong team. This occurred 25% of the time. 17% of the management factors indicated that there was a need for or lack of a business model. 13% signified disharmony in the team and/or its investors. And the last factor was that 9% exhibited a lack of passion. Launching a business takes work. If you aren't motivated and passionate, you may want to reconsider if you're in it for the long haul. The last category of the 4 contributors to failed startups is innovation. Here, there are 3 factors. 13% signaled they lost focus, 10% pivoted and didn't turn it around, and lastly, 7% failed to pivot. Something else to consider. While there are some tangible signs that indicate a downward slope, you also have to get out of your own head. There's also a fear of failure, which we all have. Here are 4 signs of a fear of failure, or that you need to change your mindset. There are 4 signals that indicate you want to be mindful of your thoughts. 1, believing that you aren't good enough, that you don't belong, or that you aren't smart enough to have a seat at the table. 2, feeling that you have to be perfect in everything and have a need for approval. 3, when you don't want to be flexible or adapt, such as avoiding working with difficult customers or challenging projects. 4, feeling anxious about performing, procrastinating, and/or not following through with commitments or plans. There are 6 tips to convert failure into success. First, let go of the fear of failure. We all fail, just fail fast. It costs time and money. Second, it's okay to take risks. Experiment with your business and try new things. Third, go for it. Even if you aren't 100% ready, that's how we grow. Fourth, seek feedback and embrace the negative. Think about the value you could bring to the marketplace if you turn that negative into a positive. Fifth, be willing to change when things don't work. Lastly, and I think we all learned this in kindergarten, learn from others and be willing to ask for help. Businesses go through cycles of birth, growth, maturity, decline, and rebirth or death. In this case, birth is centered around the acquisition of obtaining the first round of customers. Here, the primary goal is to at least break even. In the growth stage, sales increase due to a rise in demand. There should be positive growth in sales, profits, marketing, and staff. The factors to monitor are cash flow, processes, and technology. This is the stage where owners should contemplate whether to continue current strategies, sell organically, or consider merging. The maturity stage means that revenue and profits plateaued. Process flows and systems are well developed, and the key in this stage is remaining flexible and demonstrating creativity. Next is the decline stage. This is usually a result of industry changes or businesses failing to remain relevant. Sales decline, and either a rebirth or death of the organization occurs. And then lastly, it's either the rebirth or death for the organization. Either significant positive changes are made to revitalize the business, or the business will end. Want to keep the organization alive? Consider improvements to your product or service, new distribution channels, product line extensions, and I have other videos on my channel that dive into this, adding new markets, growing into global markets, licensing, franchising, joint ventures, mergers or acquisitions, and strategic alliances. Ultimately, knowing the cycle of your business and industry will help you take steps in the right direction. Hopefully you have a better understanding of the lean startup pitch, early failures to monitor, identifying signs that you have a fear of failure, tips to converting failure into success, and the business life cycle. If you're interested in learning more about related topics, you can find my book, Rockstar Manager from Theory to Practice, Mindset, a research-based approach to understanding motivation. Be Your Best You, the ultimate research-based guide to understanding leadership. And Build a Rockstar Business, from ideation to inception in 120 minutes, if you want to start a new business. They can be found at most major retailers. Or read OpenStack's Entrepreneurship from Rice University. Thank you for your time. Be your best you and be a rockstar manager.